Jimmie Johnson has joined us. He's our 5-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion, and he's also clinched a spot in the 2012 chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. And Jimmie, solid run out there tonight. I believe you started, what, 37th in the field?
Yes.
So
back there.
You certainly had to navigate your way up through there, led some laps, battled for the win, and you've clinched a spot in the chase. So I guess my first question will be, talk about tonight's race on your behalf, and then also what it means to go ahead and clinch up a spot in the chase with 2 to go.
And tonight was intense. To start that deep in the field, you know, when they drop the green, you're a half lap behind, if not more, at the initial start. So to get going was important for us, but then with being back there, we had to get some track position somehow. So we pitted a few times and tried to get some fuel in the car and set up a strategy for us later in the race that really ended up working out nice for us. So, you know, credit to Chad and Greg Ives for you know, calling a great race strategy-wise. We had a fast car. You know, at times I think, you know, maybe a race-winning car, but certainly a top-3 car all night long. It's just a matter of getting to the front and surviving. As we were all racing around the top, you know, we were bumping and pushing and shoving each other around the top, trying to create a hole, try to create an opportunity to give a slide job to somebody, and work my way forward. So action-packed. Now, it had some severe damage to the front of the car. I'm thankful the radiator didn't get punctured in that, maybe 40, 50 laps into the race into turn 1. So a little scare there, but you know, outside of that, it was great, and I'm very proud to have clinched. To have clinched, you know, to be a part of the chase each year that the chase has been around means a lot to me. And to clinch early like this takes some pressure off the race team, and we'll enjoy these next 2 races and you know, hopefully carry some great momentum off into the start of the chase.
Thank you, Jimmie. We'll take questions now for Jimmie Johnson. Downstairs, any questions for Jimmie? Anybody downstairs? Jenna has one, please.
Jimmie, you got 4 guys now tied with 3 wins. How big do you think that will be if 4 guys go into the chase tied for that top seed?
You know, in years past, I haven't worried too much about the seeding process, and I've won the championship seeded in a variety of different places. But last year's chase, you know, really put an emphasis on every point. So, you know, I look back at Michigan, I look back at Pocono, and regret that, you know, we didn't finish things off at those 2 tracks. And, you know, we seeded #1 with 6 more points than everybody if it ended now. But, you know, that I can't do anything about that, I guess. I should stop complaining about it. But we'll just have to see. I know this year's chase is going to be ultra competitive, and, you know, it's shaping up to certainly be that way.
Let's go to Marty Smith, then we'll go to David Newton, then we'll go to the press box. Right behind you there, Kristen. Marty Smith.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Did you, Jeff noted the intensity tonight. Did you notice that maybe some of the intensity that made this place such a tough ticket for fans was back a little bit tonight as compared to recent years?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not sure what played through to the fans and to the spectators watching, but inside the car, you know, to complete a pass, you had to set someone up and make this bonsai pass to slide up in front of them. Then when you were around the top, the pace was so high up there, you know, it was intense for us inside the car, but I don't know if that crossed over for everyone else. You know, there seemed to be plenty of bumping and banging around the top lane, you know, so hopefully that came through well. But yes, the intensity was up inside the car. I'm just not clear how it came across on TV.
Let's go to David, and then we'll go to the press box. Go ahead.
Yeah, kind of similar question, but did you like that style compared to what you had in the last couple of years here?
You know, it was a little different in the way, you know, the top is where you had to be. But I guess if I really think about it, it's no different than when you had to run the bottom. This track has been very difficult to pass on over the years, and you know, we had a period of time where it was easy to run side by side, and then now a big effort to get it back to a single file lane again. So In some ways, it's the same. We're just racing on a different part of the racetrack.
Let's go to the press box, and then we'll come back downstairs. Go ahead, press box.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service. Jimmie, I think the top 4 cars all came to the pit road on lap 325, so 175 laps left. At one point of the race, there was some concern about getting to the end on fuel, but as it played out, it didn't seem like anybody had a problem. Was that just because of the number of caution laps, or were you able to save any on the racetrack at all?
Yeah, it was definitely saving under cautions. Caution laps helped, and then the first, 2/3 of that event, the last run, I should say, I was saving fuel. We were in position and pitted before that pit stop you're speaking of. We thought we could go the distance prior to that, and came to pit road, and I went out and ran. I don't know, it couldn't have been 15, 20 laps. And Chad, after doing the math, was like, we won't make it from here. We've got to come again. I was pretty nervous to pit again that late, but I came back out in 12th and still found my way up to second. So, fuel was a concern at the start of the run. It was, saved as much as I could. But and then with 2 to go, Chad said, be smart and save fuel. And I'm thinking, what? Don't make me fret about things now. And we didn't have any issues.
Back downstairs. I believe Mulhern had one, and then I think Marty had another one. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Mullen.net. Thank you very much for one of the best races I've seen here in years. It was fantastic. But it took a long time.
Seriously?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Honestly, yeah, it was fantastic.
Good. Just make sure I didn't know.
It was like, but how long did it take you guys to actually figure out what was going on the racetrack? I mean, it took us a couple of hours to figure out what the rhythm might even be with all the different strategies and everything.
Strategy-wise, it was tough to know what was going on, but Chad did a great job of putting us in position. So the strategy we had worked really well. I'd say the eye-opening experience for me was 50 laps in. Chad told me the 5 car got up onto the ground surface and was making a ton of time up there. And I started playing with it, and I could watch the progression of every race car on the track. I mean, every spotter delivered the message, and you could see every car flirting with it and working it in, and off we went. So that was the big moment in the race. And then from there, you just had to be very, very smart and strategic about when you try to pass the car in front of you. If you had a good gap behind you, you could maybe work on the bottom for a corner or two and have a hole to fall back into if it didn't work out. If not, you just had to wait and sit and wait, and it was tough to be patient. And I watched a lot of guys jump out of line being impatient, and we just fill that spot and move forward and work our way up.
Let's go. Let's get Dustin first, since he hadn't had one. Then we'll go to Marty.
Dustin Long, SI.com. Jimmie, with your finish, with what you guys have done running wise here lately, what did you get accomplished tonight that will help you for down the chase, even though there isn't another track like this on the schedule?
It's just a good confidence booster. Running well here. It's a tough racetrack. It's been tough on the 48 team over the years. And yesterday, did not go well with the rain, and the way we were spending our time and our tire allotment in practice, we got burned yesterday. So frustration was high, but we rallied back and had a great race tonight. So yes, you're right. There is not another racetrack like this in the chase, but momentum is key. Pit stops were strong tonight. That's all more reps and very helpful moving forward. And locking is awesome. It takes a huge weight off our shoulders.
Final question comes from Marty. Marty?
Did you see Stewart's toss?
No, I didn't. I saw him lingering, kind of waiting with his gear. I figured something was going to happen.
It was pretty epic.
I heard he had a good toss on it.
It was full-blown Strasburg, man.
I know he impressed our crew. I mean, they were all talking about
What'd they say? What'd they say?
They said he had an arm on him. He had a good throw and hit it dead center of the hood.